With its seemingly long list of benefits, which includes boosting mood, alleviating pain, promoting healthy sleep and healthy digestion, improving skin conditions, and so many more, it's no wonder people are turning to essential oils to support their health and well-being. The popularity of these wonder-working oils is stirring interest in learning how to extract them for personal use or for business. Welcome to Extraction Essentials, where you'll learn and discover how to create a formula using quality engineered products. Hosted by Tony Frischknecht, this podcast is all about the process of extraction tools and the equipment that surrounds the extraction lab or facility. Create an income while enjoying the many benefits and uses of essential oils by tuning in to Extraction Essentials.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Extraction Essentials. I'm your host, Tony Frischknecht, and I am here with my head of product management, Nick Gay. Nick, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Tony?
Fantastic. So we're going to do some cool stuff here today. I've never made this before, but I'm sure there's some folks out there that are listening right now that have made their own soaps. And we're going to be creating our own soaps along with fragrances because, of course, if you guys are following our show at all, you know, we take and we extract essential oils from different plants, and we use that for fragrances, flavors, and so on. Nick, so have you made soap before?
Yeah, I've made soap and basically every different type of method that you can use to make soap. I've done that. And today we're going to be doing a melt and pour soap, which is by far the easiest and user-friendly.
What other processes are there to making soap?
Yeah, so there's cold process and then hot process, which both use different oils as well as sodium hydroxide, also known as lye. And the hot process is done within the day, whereas cold process takes about 4 to 6 weeks to cure out. And the reason behind that is because the chemical process is carrying out of soaponifying the oils. And so your end product of soap will have no lye in it at all and very little oil. And that's the chemical process that happens to make soap.
Is there any one of those processes that produces a better product than the other?
The cold process definitely creates the best product for sure. But with that said, like this is the safest way to make soap at home because, you know, as you may know, lye can be pretty dangerous. Like if you get it on your skin, it will burn you or anything like that. So, but with the proper precautions like goggles and gloves, then it's relatively safe.
So if you guys are watching, also the ones that are listening to the podcast, he's got a pot where he has actually started first part of this process of actually melting down the soap base itself. So Nick, with that said, what are the ingredients that we're going to be using here today to make our soap?
Yeah, so the first ingredient is I got a goat milk soap base just from the Hobby Lobby down the street. This is 2 pounds. It cost me $10 to get that. And then the only other ingredients you'll need is our CO2 extracted lavender essential oil that we made in the little buddy. And then any sort of colorants or anything you'd like to do. Like, so for example, in the soap I made yesterday that I'll show you a little later, I did an Australian red clay as the colorant.
Oh, okay.
And that's something that's a natural. It's literally just a clay and it'll make a really nice kind of a Moab red rock sort of color. And then I also have some other colorants here today. I unfortunately didn't have any purple, which I was going to use for the lavender, but today we're going to use some spirulina, which is just a ground powder, also another plant-based colorant. So we're going to add that into the soap base, and that's going to make our soap green.
Okay, and as you mentioned before, this is probably one of the safer ways to make soap, correct?
Yes, definitely. So this is a process you could even do with your kids. The only danger really here is this heating element. So, you know, if you cook with your kids, this is a very similar process. It's just, you know, things are hot and that's all you really need to worry about.
Okay, great. So, you know, for those folks out there that are, you know, creating their own product or creating their own soap, we talk about the economics of Okay, well, the product, the goat's milk base soap that you have, and then you have the extracted lavender essential oil in front of us there. Okay, great. So that vial seems like fairly inexpensive handmade soap. Well, do you know what handmade soap goes for? Like if you're going to the store or you go to a farmer's market, what do you generally see that at?
Yeah, so retail,
So Nick, the expenses that you have to create this product is your base goat's milk soap and then the extraction. Well, how much would it cost for somebody to buy some of this handmade soap, whether it be a store or farmer's market or something like that?
Yeah, typically the retail prices that I've typically seen on the low end would be like $7, where on the high end would be 20. So it's a pretty expensive product. And today we're making it for quite a bit lower than that.
So once we make did you say we could make 6 bars? Is that what you were saying?
Correct. Yeah. With this 2 pounds, we're able to make 6 bars with my mold choice today.
Okay. So we've got 6 bars and they're roughly $10 without the essential oil, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So then we add the essential oils. How much do you think we could sell one of these bars for once we were finished?
I would say, and definitely above $5. And my estimated cost, even with buying the essential oils, would be $2 a bar. So on the lowest end, you're going to be making $3 profit per bar.
Okay. So, and that's relatively conservative, right?
Yeah. And also that's buying this not bulk, just from a craft store. You know, if you were doing this for as a business model, then you can buy this soap base in bulk for a lot cheaper. Or you could also go the route of doing the cold process soap, which we can visit on a future podcast.
Well, and, for those of you out there that are looking for some type of side business or something to work on, this would be a fantastic way to sell some online products if you wanted to really get your name out there and start building a brand of a soap brand. And I know that's funny to say, but, instead of going to your farmer's market, we have that ability today to sell anything online. So it seems like a great way to, to make some extra money. So if you guys are out there looking to make some extra money, this is entirely viable for you to do so. So anyway, Nick, let's talk about the process here. So do you have everything ready there is your base melted and ready to go, or do we need a little more time?
We need a little bit more time. It's almost all melted. You'll see over here that I'm continually stirring. The stirring just helps it melt better. And you want to make sure that your wax is all fully melted before you add your essential oils or any colorants or anything like that. And that way you get a nice clean pour into your mold here. And also, Tony, it's a really great way to give gifts as well. So like I have 5 uncles and 5 aunts. So every Christmas I'll make some sort of, a lotion or soaps. And that way, you can give everyone a gift for relatively cheap and still give a nice product,
Yeah, I mean, you've made it as long as it's good, right? As long as it smells good.
Exactly. And so here, I'm just going to put that. As you see, I keep scraping this wax that's solidifying on my silicone spatula here back into the batch, just so that it can remelt. But I'll show you here the mold we're going to be using. So it's a square mold. And this is a mold that's pretty easy to get. They actually sell it at a lot of liquor stores because people use them for like ice cubes.
I've seen those
for cocktails.
Yeah, if it's one large ice cube for your scotch or whatever you're trying to keep from you're trying to cool down. Okay, no, those are awesome, and they're a few bucks too. They're not expensive.
Yeah, they're like $10, and you could use it for ice cubes and soap as long as you're washing it in between.
Exactly. So what can people expect from as they mix this extracted oil into the solution there? Is it going to mix up easily? Is it going to be kind of challenging to mix up the essential oil?
It's going to mix in pretty easily. You just want to make sure that your entire mixture is fully melted, just so that you don't have to unnecessarily heat your essential oil, because you're going to be losing some quality there once you heat up your essential oil too much.
Okay. Yeah. And so for you guys out there that this is maybe your first time tuning in, that's one of the things that our extraction machine doesn't do. It's a closed loop system, and we're using CO2, so it keeps those temperatures really, really low, which in turn creates a better product because we're not burning off all the natural scents that are in the product itself as we extract the oil. So that's one of the big differences here. So Nick, are you adding the colors? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm about to add the colorant right now. And so you want to do any colors you're going to want to do first, especially if you're using natural colorants, because it's kind of a trial and error thing. And it really, you just want to look at your batch and see what type of color you're going to get there. So I have about a tablespoon here. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna dump that in there. Mix that in.
Okay. And then as this is mixed in, what is the cooling process? Does this take a long time to cool? Is this going to be ready for use even if you wanted to wrap it up and sell it this afternoon? I mean, how long does it take for this to set up once it hardens in the cube tray there?
Yeah, so it takes a couple hours to harden, about 2 to 3. And so what I've done is I actually made a batch yesterday with a different colorant, just so that the viewers out there watching on YouTube can kind of see some different processes. So what I'm doing with the spirulina is just mixing it directly in. Whereas what I did yesterday using the Australian red clay is I layered it. So I had I'm trying to get the best picture there. Mm-hmm. There we go. So you could see the top layer is a little bit that kind of red rock sort of color, mm-hmm. whereas the base is white. So what you could also do is you could pour those two colors in at the same time, and it would create kind of a swirling effect.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I've seen that. So you can get pretty creative as you're making soap then, it seems like. Yeah,
totally. And you could put different botanicals or herbs or flowers on them, and do different colors. And with cold processed soap, there's even more options.
Why is that?
That's because, so you'll see when I'm pouring this wax, you got to be kind of quick about it, because you don't want it to harden as you're pouring it. Whereas cold processed soap, it doesn't harden for a couple hours until the actual chemical process starts happening.
Okay. So are we about ready to pour that in? Yeah,
we're about ready. So it's kind of cool. Like a mint chocolate chip sort of color going on here.
Okay.
And so the one thing you want to keep in mind when you're pouring this is not to get, because I'm using a double boiler here. So I have a hot water boiling here, and then I have a secondary pot sitting inside of that. So what you're going to want to do is you want to use a rag or something so that you don't get any water in your actual soap.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I've had this rag sitting here waiting for me. I'm just going to turn the heat off here. So you could see there's a bunch of water that's formed here. Yeah. So I'm just wiping that off just so that doesn't go into our mixture.
Okay.
And so you want to do this on a level surface, just so you get a proper pour.
So you're just filling up each one of these cubes in the cube tray. There's about 6 of them there for you guys that are listening. He's filling up each one just like you would fill up an ice tray, essentially. And these cubes are probably about 2 inches by 2 inches, I think. And he's filled up 4 of them there. And of course, there's a bunch that's stuck to the side, but who knows how you can really scoop that out without it getting too cold and setting up on you. So
exactly. So that's why I have the silicone scraper that helps a lot. But if you're really, so at this point, there's really not that much left in there. So I'll just leave it in there. But if you add quite a bit in there, or you're, making another batch or something like that, you'd want to I set that back in the hot water. So that's melting back down. But here, I'll just show you one of the finished bars now that you see it in the mold.
Yeah. Okay. And so, I mean, that's a good size bar.
Yeah. So you can make smaller bars where you're making more. Here, let me slap this on a scale real quick and we'll kind of show you.
He's got a little tabletop scale he's using right now, folks.
So this bar weighs 101 grams. So that's a pretty big bar. Honestly, most bars that you'd buy are a little bit smaller than that. I just really like this mold, and it's also an easy mold for the viewers to purchase.
Yeah, those silicone mold too that you have, it pops out really easy too once they're dry, right?
Exactly. And so, yeah, what I'll do is I'll let it sit for about 4 hours, and then I'll pop it in the freezer for about 10 minutes, and that just gets it real super hard. And that way, when you're pushing it out of the mold, you don't make like fingerprints or divots or anything like that. And then another pro tip that you would do is, you have all this hot water. This is kind of a mess to clean up. Even though it's soap, it's so much soap that it's kind of hard to clean up. So when you have all this hot water, just pour that hot water directly in your basin where you were melting your soap, and that'll make it really easy to clean it out. Awesome.
That's a great tip. Thank you. So the one that you have finished there, let's talk about that for a second. Does that have a lavender addition to it when you made that?
That one I actually did cedarwood oil.
Okay.
Because I wanted a little bit of a variation, and I also wanted to kind of save the lavender for this mixture today.
Okay.
So yeah, I made a cedarwood, and then today I made a lavender.
Okay, great. And we didn't extract the cedarwood from that. That was a product that you would purchase to add to that, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a big old stash of essential oils at home. So
we are, however, trying to extract everything we can. So who knows? Maybe if we get we're able to figure out how to extract cedar oil from the actual wood itself. We'll bring that to you guys too.
Yeah, and really, it's just like a seasonal thing. So like I'm here in Colorado, so it's springtime. There's not much blooming, not much growing right now. So really the only thing we're extracting is dried lavender right now. But I have a bunch of stuff growing in the garden. I've got hops, I've thyme, rosemary, sage. So we're going to be doing a lot of extractions this summer.
Awesome. Well, Nick, this was all great stuff. If people want to talk to you about soap, can they reach out to you?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, guys, if you guys want to talk, just Nick's done this a lot. So he gave you a couple of his tips right there, but also if you're creating this for the first time, he's more than happy to walk you through the process, talk to you about it, and explain how the extraction makes it really easy to add it and go. So please reach out to us at extractionessentials.com. You can message us there. We also have texting. You can call us very simply. We're easy to get to. Folks, I appreciate you guys listening in today. I hope you guys learned something. I know I did. And we will see you guys next time.
You have just listened to another informative episode of Extraction Essentials with Tony Frischknecht. We invite you to come back next time as we strive to provide useful knowledge and tools every week to help you on your extraction business. You can also visit extractionessentials.com for additional resources and to know more about working with Tony. See you again next time.